Good morning, everyone. My name is Rabbi Director of Pastoral Care here at Gurwin Jewish Nursing and Rehab. Hope everyone had a great week. Hope everyone's having a great beginning to the new year, 2023. We've started on a rotational basis, live Oneg Shabbat in the Rainbow Room. We started first last week, another one this week, switching off between the Weinberg and Shackney buildings, as it's so exciting to finally get back to live services. It's been too long, and we already started last week with much success. So look out when it's your turn to come to the Rainbow Room for a wonderful Oneg Shabbat. But for those whose turn it is not to come, or for those who can't make it, we have our not live recording of the Oneg Shabbat, which will begin right now, and hope everyone enjoys. We'll begin the Oneg Shabbat with the singing of Shalom Aleichem, which is again welcoming the Shabbat angels into our homes as Shabbat begins. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShahares, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShahares, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShahares, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Teizchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Teizchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Teizchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This week we begin actually a new sefer, a new book in the book of Moses, in the Torah, the book of Shemos, the book of Exodus. And the book of Exodus begins a few hundred years later after the book of Genesis ends. As we ended last week with the Jewish people going down to Egypt, being reunited with their brother Joseph, father Jacob, in Egypt, for there was a famine in many of the surrounding countries, and everyone sort of converged onto Egypt where there was plenty of food. And after resetting and resettling down in the land of Egypt, the Jewish populace grew and grew and grew. Yet over time, the Egyptian empire forgot about all the good deeds Jacob and Joseph did for them. They started to enslave the Jewish people. And this slavery went on for over 200 years. And the Jewish people were suffering tremendously in the land of Egypt. So finally, they cried out to God for salvation, and their prayers were heard. And God said to the elders, there will be a new leader who will come. We just have to wait a little bit for that. Who is this new leader? No other than Moses. But Moses' birth was a miracle itself. Because at that point in time, Pharaoh had his advisors, through astronomy, revealed to him that there was going to be a Jewish child born to the Jewish nation in your land who would be their savior. And therefore you must kill every Jewish male, every boy that is being born, in order to wipe out the possibility of this child to be born. And this decree was to destroy all Jewish children, all Jewish boys specifically. And when Moses was born, his parents hid him, but they could no longer hide him as they were afraid for his life. So they put him in a basket and sent him down the river, hoping that someone would find this young child and save them. And who saved this child? No other than Pharaoh's daughter herself, Batya. She found this baby in a basket floating down the river, and she saved him. And she saved him, and she raised him. Think of the irony. The savior of the Jewish people from the Egyptian empire was raised in the house of Pharaoh himself. And that's how the story begins. The story goes on, how Moses then left Pharaoh's house for many years and returned back 80 years later to become the savior, about 80 years later to become the savior of the Jewish people. And the irony here is so interesting, because many times we feel we're doing things that will help us get to a better place, that will help us, or sometimes we don't know where the salvation will come. Sometimes the salvation comes from right under our nose. To think that Pharaoh, who was trying everything in his ability to destroy and to kill what he believed to be the future savior of the Jewish people, to take them out of his land, out of slavery, to believe that he fed him, he clothed him, he gave him shelter, it proves to us that God really knows what he's doing. We should never ever doubt what's in God's plan. Chadahodi lekras kahanla pnei Shabbos nekabela lechadahodi kras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad ishmiyahanu kel hamyuchad Hashem echad u'shmo echad l'shemo seferet v'lezila l'chad odi kras kala pnei Shabbos nekabela l'kran Shabbos l'chuvin elcha ki mekar haveracha Meirosh mikedem nesuchas of maseh b'machshavat chila lechad odi lekras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela mikdash melech ir melucha umisi mitov ha'afecha rav lo shevet yemek habacha Oyachamo lalayichem lalechad odi lekras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela Isnari me'afar kumi Livshei bigdei sefar nechami Al yad ben yishai beitzalachmi Charvo el nafshi geyala lechad odi lekras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela Hisariri Kiva horeku miyori Yori Shir daviri Eloi Hashem layich nigla lechad odi lekras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabela v'lo say v'oshi v'lo si kami. Ma de jochachi yumatami v'ho yesu ani yami v'nivnisa yirauti la lecha dodi kas kalaf ne Shabbos nekavila yamin usmol tifroti v'yes Hashem tariti al yad ben yishai beis alachmi harva el nafshigi Allah lecha dodi likras kalaf ne Shabbos nekavila Bowie b'shalom ateres bala Gamberino v'tzahala Tochem une yam segula Bowie kala lecha dodi Likras kala pnei Shabbos nekabilam. The name Moses itself, Moshe, is really quite unusual. Because that was a name that Pharaoh's daughter, Batya, gave to Moshe, which comes from the word Mishisihu, which means drawn out, as she was thanking God because she found this child and drew him out of the water. From the water I drew him out. That's what his name means, to draw out of water. But that's obviously not the name his parents gave him. 3 months earlier, Moses was 3 months at the time when his parents sent him away. So why did this name that stuck with him his entire life, the name he's known by, Moses, is not the name from his parents? It's the name given to him when he was saved. And the answer is that Moses understood what it means to be thankful for others, to be grateful to God. His name itself really represents a salvation. I was going to drown, I was going to be killed, and a miracle happened. I was drawn up from the water. That should be my name the rest of my life. Wherever someone says my name, Moses makes reference to my name, I'll right away remember the goodness God did for me, for saving my life. And this is probably one of the most important lessons we have in the Bible, in the Torah, to always appreciate what others do for you, always appreciate what God does for you. His whole essence, his whole name was solely revolved around this point. And although not our names necessarily mean that, but if we remember in the back of our mind the things that God does for us, the things that other people do for us, we'll be able to live a happier life, a healthier life, and a life filled with wanting to give gratitude to God and to helping out others. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yetzir nivra li'es nasa b'chefsa kol azay melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kechlos hakol levahado yimlok nora v'haya v'hu hoveh Ho yihye b'sefara v'ho echad v'yin sheni Hamshila l'hachmira v'li reishit v'li tachlis lo ha'oz v'hamitzra v'ho keli v'chai go'ali Torchev li v'yes nasa v'ho nisi umanosli Nazgosi b'yom eka b'yahada v'afkid ruchi Yesishan v'ya'ira v'yim ruchi v'yasi Ado shem li v'lo ira. Everyone have a happy and healthy Shabbat, a great weekend. We'll see everybody next week.